ready for the Whitings?
Yeah.
I think everyone's ready. Come on in.
Who's going where?
Come on in. Coach is over there.
Amber's going here?
Amari's over here.
Okay.
Our guests tonight represent the present and the future of women's basketball at BYU.
Well, and the past.
And the past. Amber Whiting just finished her first season as the Cougars head coach, and her daughter Amari is a 4-star guard who will suit up for BYU this winter. Put those headsets on. Welcome to the Wise Guys. Coach, welcome back.
Thank you.
Is it, do you feel like, and then DJ's going to hit their mics. We'll be ready.
DJ's going to pod
Does
you
it
up.
feel extra special to know this is the first show of the second year of this show, and the two of you are headliners?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. It's crazy.
And that Amber was our favorite guest for the first year.
Yeah,
You have to
we
say
established that
I'm
earlier.
Giving you the eyes.
And does it feel like,
Trent told me, like, was that your best show? I'm like, it was our best show, Trent. So,
do you feel like you've been here a long time? I mean, it's just one season, but it seems like it was more than that. Does it?
Yeah. No, I got the job May 20th.
Yeah.
And so somebody was just talking to me today, and I've had it for a year, and it just is like that year, snap, and it's gone.
she got the job on my birthday. I'm going to remember from this point forward that she became the head coach on my birthday.
Your birthday was last week?
Yeah.
I didn't wish you a happy birthday. Happy birthday.
That's okay. I don't.
Must have skipped by me.
I'm downplaying. I've been going backwards for a few years.
Yeah.
Like every year, how old are you? I'm a year younger.
Amari, what does it mean to be a 4-star recruit? What's that feel like?
Feels pretty normal, I'd say.
Because you're always a 4-star, or it's just normal, meaning it's just nothing's different?
No, nothing's different. I mean, I'm just playing basketball, and I don't really see myself as a 4-star. I just see myself as a basketball player. So
Does it bring any added pressure early?
I would say so, yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just playing the sport I love. So
So for mom and coach, you've got a 4-star recruit here, but this was also a really good, deep recruiting class. Arguably, I'm not even gonna say arguably, it's the best recruiting class BYU's ever signed. And so how do you keep the pressure, the right pressure on this group to perform because of their talent, but not too much pressure that they play tight? That's kind of a balancing act. What do you do to keep this really talented group in the right headspace?
Well, first of all, you don't talk about it, right? Like, you don't add that pressure onto them. I think they're the type of kids, they all have a common thread for me. They all like to play defense. They all like to get after it, and they all love basketball, and they all play for the right reasons. And so you just hold them accountable. Every day they come in practice, they're still freshmen. Stars, I mean, yes, I know, but they don't mean anything anymore. We're on to the Big 12 now, and this is what they signed up for. This is why they came. And so you just, every day you walk in practice, like, you get to play the game you love, but you also get to earn every single minute that you're out there.
Are you a little bit surprised? I was reading through the bios of all the recruits you've brought in, and we already know the ones who are returning. Every one of them is some superstar in their own spot, whether it's at Lone Peak or Nevada or coming from Oregon. This is and we've talked about it a lot on this show. It's the most talented recruiting class in the history of the program. If you just look at the stars and things attached to names, man, you did that 1 year.
Like, I don't know. I look at how we have to mesh these kids together, right? So you look at, like, when you go out on the Adidas circuit or the Nike circuit, whatever, all these kids are coming from their roles on their teams, which are superstars. And when they come together on the circuit, out whatever shoe circuit they play, they find their role. And so we're going to have our European tour. We're going to have a summer together. And I feel like they'll all find their role. And they want to win. And that's what's most important.
It's great timing for you guys because you don't get to take a European trip every year. To have that trip be this year, right, with this big group of new folks, how important is this trip going to be to getting this team to mesh and play with one another?
Yeah, it's huge. And not just on the basketball court. It's a lot of off the court stuff too. Like, I've talked to my players about, like, their parents are welcome to tag along. I'll give them the dates where we're playing, but that's it. Like, I want my players to hang together, to be together, to just gel. And so every city we move to, I'm mixing up the rooming lists, and they're gonna get to know each other, old and new, and the old players, but the players that were here last year, the returners, they have a lot to teach these young ones coming in and the new ones coming in. And so I'm excited for them to be able to lead them in that way.
Shout out to everybody watching. John, by the way, it's good to have you with us. Let us know where you are dialed in from around the world, and we'll try to give you shout outs as we dive deeper into Wise Guys here on this Tuesday. A couple of big things just happened. You just got back from the Big 12 meetings. Hold that thought.
Okay.
You just walked at Timpview and picked up your high school diploma. What was that like for you? I mean, most of your stuff was in Idaho, but you finished at Timpview.
Yeah. It was pretty fun, I would say. I mean, I didn't think that I would even walk just because I was already at BYU, but
you got to walk. You got to go back.
Felt kind of good to just like close my high school book and actually be able to just move on now and know that, you know, it's time to work. So
you graduated and walked with graduation, but you were enrolled at BYU in January, right? So that you could work out with the team and work with the trainers and do all of that. How did that work?
Well, because I tore my ACL, I just didn't feel like I didn't want to just sit at high school, and I only needed a couple credits, so I thought that getting ahead in school would be a smart decision, and I would be able to rehab at BYU and have access to, you know, the facilities and the trainers. And so I just graduated early. I took a class online, and I picked up an extra class, and then I just started taking some classes at BYU and just rehabbing there. So.
All right, we're going to ask you about your knee in a minute.
Yeah.
Let's go back to these Big 12 meetings. Welcome back, by the way.
Yeah.
So you're in paradise with your family, having a great vacation, and then go from there right to the fire of the Big 12. What were you most impressed about in your meetings?
Well, the commissioner let out, and he is very inspirational and has a really forward-thinking type of way. I was excited. Well, and I was a little bit like hesitant, you know, like you're in this room of all these, because it was a men's and women's coaches to see, right?
Yeah.
But then I started to realize like there's 6 new coaches on the women's side that have never coached in the Big 12. The 4 new ones coming in, and then TCU and West Virginia are both new. So we're all in the same boat, most of us together, and it was just interesting to see everybody's outlook and output, and to just get to know people, you know, and sit down with people. And so you realize everybody's human and fighting the same battles that you're fighting in the portal or in NIL, all the things. And so it's just interesting to get everybody's take on what's going on. So
you mentioned when we were talking before the show, you guys came early and we got to visit for a minute, that the commissioner, I think your words were he's just got a great vision. Mm-hmm. He's got a great vision, and you said he's awesome. What do you mean by that? And what do folks that are just listening all over the place, by the way?
I saw Alaska
Linda
there.
Murray's like, I'm in Colorado. We'll ask your question. I'm in Wasilla, Alaska. Last week we have Corey Yoshimura from Japan all the time. But somebody
I thought we were in the Philippines last week.
We're in the Philippines last week. So,
wow.
so
it's that Cougar Nation thing.
Yeah. What can you tell the Cougar Nation out there about this commissioner that will give them confidence that this is a great league and it's going to have a future?
Well, he's looking forward to and thinking outside the box of how to make us the best conference, right? Like outside of the SEC, ACC, like he wants to make us the best. And so the ideas that he have, and I can't really share those because they haven't come, but
okay.
The ideas that he has and the people he's going after and the things that he's trying to do within the Big 12 are really, really cool. And I'm excited to be the pioneer of it and to just hop on and try and do my part.
Did he share with you any scheduling stuff?
As far as
Judged by that
basketball
smile,
goes?
I think the answer is yes.
I think that's a yes.
What can you tell us that's coming for women's basketball at the Big 12?
So it's this huge algorithm, and it was really, there's a lot of arguments with it, but we will be playing like a certain amount of teams twice. And then I think it's like 8 teams once or 5 teams. Anyways, I don't know, but you're playing the top 4 teams once, the bottom 4 teams once, but we all had to rank them. And so that's when the arguments came in, because you got 4 new schools coming in that haven't played there.
So you have a list of 14 teams.
Yes. And also some of us have portals and haven't finished the roster, and so we don't know how it's going to look, but you got to rank them, and they're going to base the schedule off of this. And so I think year one, especially with 14, will be a little bit of trial and error, right? But then if those two leave and then other ones come in, like I still think it's a work in progress, but they also said percentage will matter more than record. Does that make sense? Because there'll be too many ties because you only play two anyway. So we got to win. That's all.
So I'm interested to know if we're going to have a Lauren Gustin, Shaylee Gonzalez reunion night at some point during the season.
At the Marriott Center.
At the Marriott Center with BYU in Texas. Can you tell us that?
No, I don't know who we're playing. I don't know if we're playing Texas once or not, but that would be fun.
If you get them twice, then we know that is.
That would be really fun. Would you be
good?
okay with that, to play Texas in the Marriott Center?
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
We just saw the soccer schedule, and we saw the women's volleyball schedule that was put out last week, and there just comes some buzz with seeing your name and those teams.
Yeah.
And for the coach, it might be heartburn, but for the fans, it's like, oh, Oklahoma's coming, or Texas is coming. When are we going to see the schedule?
I think they're going to start. Well, we got to finish our non-con first. I think we have 1 or 2 left. But then after that, I don't think ours is coming out until mid-June, maybe July.
Oh, okay.
July 1st is like kind of the kickoff date of like the website, welcome the new schools. Like they might be rebranding a little bit. They really want to lean into the Big 12 thing, even though we have 14 teams, but always make sure that we're that and just lean into that. And so, yeah, July 1st, I think, is like a huge kickoff.
BYU women's basketball coach Amber Whiting, her daughter Amari, freshman at BYU, on the Wise Guys tonight, live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and wiseguys.com. Send us your questions. One from Linda, coach, and then we're seriously going to talk about your knee. We haven't forgotten about that.
We're going to come back to that.
Linda Murray writes, how did you find the international players that were signed? And she thinks that'll be a huge help to the team, and looking forward to getting to know them. How tough was it to find international kids?
Well, we have a connection in Spain, and so we call her a lot, right?
Yeah.
And so that's how we found that one. And then the one from Egypt, she's actually playing in Ohio for her senior year in high school.
6'3",
yes,
big body.
And so, but she didn't commit. So the Spain girl committed to us, came and did her official in December and fell in love and, wanted to come. And then the one from Egypt, she came with her dad, I want to say in January, and we had a home game. And
right, we saw her there.
Yes, and she just lit up, and he really likes our strength and conditioning guy because he's
Oh, yeah.
And so it was just awesome to have them on campus. And that's, I feel like for me, the hardest part. If I can get them on campus, I feel like it takes care of itself. Everybody falls in love with BYU and the atmosphere that we have here and how it is. And so that's my number one goal with every single recruit is to get them here.
Get them on campus and let them feel the culture. Interestingly, you mentioned, I wanted to tell you, you said she's a big body. Man, I got in big trouble for saying that one time. Well, like, what are we supposed to say, Amari? Because Gene McNulty. I don't know if you guys know who Gene is. Do you know Gene? Do you know Gene at all? Gene McNulty was a 2-time first-team All-American in the finals for the Sullivan Award at University of Montana when they were ranked in the top 10. Really, really great player. And now she works with agents and stuff in the WNBA. But one time we were talking, and she's like, Blaine, don't ever say she's a big body. And I go, well, what do I say? And she says, say she's good size. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, wow, and she's got great size inside. So that's why.
I don't know.
We call them bigs, right? We call them bigs, right?
Bigs, but I always tell my players I want them strong as possible, right? And so
right.
Big and strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I just thought, man, I got lectured by Gene McNulty. I'm not listening. I'm just going to say she's good size. That's what I'm going to say, if that works. But so international players, like, how much of a role do you see them playing moving forward? Like, is there a percentage in your mind? Is it 1 or 2 a year, or does that become a big part of the roster moving forward, do you think?
Well, I also have Smiler and Ari from New Zealand,
That's right.
And so, like, I feel like, I mean, we do need to reach out outside of the United States, but also that's not like a checkbox that you have to have, right? Like, I just want the best of the best and people that love this place and fall in love and fit our culture. And so that's a huge part. But these girls are going to be really, really good. And I feel like they're learning from, like, Atika she's looking up, she loves Lauren, like, idolizes her, right? And so she's trying to be Lauren in the next 2 or 3 years, right? And so for having her in practice and to be able to do that with her, that's one of the benefits of
So
being
you've
her.
let her know that in 2 or 3 years you expect her to be the number one rebounder in the country. Yeah, that's great. It's good to have those.
I want to ask Amari about Lauren, but let's hear about her knee first. So you tore your ACL. You've been in rehab for how long now?
7 months.
Okay.
I can tell you this, since I live in the Timpview area.
Right.
When word came that you were moving here and that you were coming, And all of a sudden, Tim View's going, we're winning a state championship.
Yeah, we're going to win a state championship.
And what was it, the first day of practice or something close to it? You tore your ACL. What happened?
No, I was on my official at BYU, and we were playing pickup, and I tore it then.
During the official visit.
During my official
That
visit.
makes it even more sad.
Ironic, I know.
I know.
But, welcome to BYU.
Yeah. And so 7 months. So you're running and you're not in contact drills yet, right?
No.
So how far are you out from being able to just go full go and be able to be involved in contact and all of that?
So in 2 months, I'll be able to, actually scrimmage and be in contact. So when we leave for Italy, those will be my first games back. But I'm just going to kind of get my feet wet. And then first season, I'll for sure be ready to go. So
Plenty of time.
What's it been like to be hurt?
It's definitely been different. I feel like I've had to mentally become stronger and just kind of find other ways I guess to be happy. It sounds like kind of dumb, but
No, it's real life.
Yeah.
It's what we all deal with. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like basketball is just something that I was able to just, if I'm stressed, go hoop. If I'm mad, go hoop. It just is something an escape for me. And so when I didn't have that, I just kind of had to rely on other things and realize, okay, I'm Amari Whiting, but I'm also, not only just a basketball player, I can be myself without basketball. So I would say that, and just learning, seeing the game from sitting on the bench it's way different. I feel like I was able to see more things, and while people were playing, I was able to just and they probably didn't care that I was coming up to them, but I would go up to them and be like, hey, look for Lauren on the backside, or this is wide open. And so it's just I feel like I was able to see more things, and I think that when I come back, it'll be something that I can definitely utilize just because I seen it different.
You hear that from a lot of athletes that have an injury and have to sit out during a season. You've been the top player on your team since you were little. You've never sat and watched ever.
No.
So it's a completely new experience for you, and you get to learn, right? So how anxious are you now that the game was taken away from you for a season to get back out there and be able to play with your teammates?
Oh, I'm super anxious. I mean, just watching practices and, just seeing them work, it makes you that much hungrier. And I know, just getting back a little bit, I was able to do 1 drill pull-ups, and I swear, the next 10 days I was doing them as much as I could. It's just something that, I'm chomping at the bit. And so I feel like I'll never take it for granted ever again. So.
Trent
You see
Whiting
what
is
Trent says here? You see that?
chimed in. Amari can't guard me is what he's saying.
Actually, when we were in Hawaii, we had a shooting competition, and asked Trent if he won, because I'm pretty sure.
So you outshot him?
Oh, I outshot him and Jace.
Because Pops
and Amber.
Because Pops
You outshot the whole family?
Pops can shoot it. I know Amber can shoot it.
Oh, he definitely can shoot.
Yeah. So, but you beat the whole family. Were you number
the whole
one?
family. Number one.
See, that's why he didn't say Amari can't shoot as well as me.
He said you
he
couldn't
said
guard.
you can't
Can't
guard
guard
him.
me.
Because he plays bully ball.
Yeah, that's
Is that
true.
right?
If we were running doing full court 1-on-1, he would be gassed, and I would definitely win.
He's old.
So what's
It's
it
not
like
fair.
for the mom and the coach? You want your guard back as fast as possible. She's also your daughter, who has a 4-year college experience ahead of her and life. And you're dealing with an ACL. How cautious will you be?
A lot. Very, very cautious. I think I'd puke the first day, right? I remember after she got hurt, because I actually was sitting up and I actually saw it happen. And she tried to hop back up, and then she didn't. And I just I know my kid, right? I knew she was hurt because she's tough. She just hops back up. And so, it was hard. It was hard on all of us. I gave her 5 minutes in the shower to cry and scream, and then, and then it was forward thinking, new goals. It's got whatever we had put it in the past, new goals. What are you gonna do for next year? What are you gonna do to be ready, right? And so we just really turned our mindsets. But then, the 3 or 4 days later, Smiler went down under the basket, almost the same spot, and I literally went in the training room and I said to Jeff, I can't this. What is that feeling? You know what I mean? He's like, you'll get used to it. It's fine. I was like, okay.
You get used to it? I don't know if you ever get used to it. You don't ever get used to it.
So
You learn to deal with it better, but you never get used to it.
Yeah. So watching her the first couple times when we worked out together, it made me a little bit nauseous and precautious. But then today it was fun. I was start at half court. Let's go. And just putting her through a little bit of drills today. It was fun.
How valuable has the Italy trip then become just to give her a little bit of combat before the games count for real.
I think for her is like trusting yourself again and being confident in it, right?
Yeah.
I don't want her to push 2 or 3 minutes here and there. Like that's about it. I want her for January, February, March, right? Like I want to make sure that we're good for then. So pushing her, they've been told by doctors and trainers, really doesn't help us. The longer we can stave it off, the stronger she can get and the more locked in, I guess, it becomes. So
how many shots can you get off in 2 minutes?
2 minutes, like with a gun or with my mom rebound?
If you're in the game in Italy and you know you have 2 minutes.
Oh, I'll just pull from anywhere.
no, she won't be in 2 minutes.
When Jimmer
She'll
was
be on the bench.
when Jimmer was playing, I can't remember what game. In post game, I said I'm like on that one where you just came across half court, like. You just felt like it was just okay, and he's like, I felt like it was okay to shoot as soon as I got off the bus, Blaine. I was like, yeah, that's Jimmer, right? That's the mentality. He was open when he got off the bus. He was going to shoot it, right?
Yeah.
You feel that way too?
Yeah, I guess. We'll see. Maybe when I get a little bit more into it, then we'll see.
That's going to be an awesome experience overseas for that reason, and for the bonding of this group. Lauren Gustin was one of the stories in the off season, went to the portal. She's a grad student. So, I don't have a problem. I know no coach wants that. You get your degree. I think you have the right to look around. She looked around and saw BYU was the right spot for her last year. So she comes back. As you look back at that experience, does Gustin then kind of look at this season even more determined to make an impact, considering that she could have left and chose to come back? Does she come back more determined to fight in the Big 12 and lead the team?
Well, when she left and went to do that, like honestly, like you say, like she did graduate. She has a right to look around, and I supported her in that. And she wanted to go visit a school, and I let her. I mean, not let her, but I said, please go do that. But then I want to
please think about it.
Yeah, I want to
run this stuff by me, right? Like after you've had these thoughts, run it by me.
But when she came back and we sat down as a staff with her, and we like kind of highlighted in the rafters where her jersey will hang once she breaks all these records, right? She will always be remembered at BYU, and this is her legacy. And this is I remember last year at the first of the year, she talked about being able to play Texas, right? Mm-hmm. And being able to be our face going into the Big 12. And
she sat right here where Amari is and talked about taking on Shaylee at the Marriott Center in a Texas game.
She's excited about it, right? And so I just reminded her about that, but I also reminded her like everything that we've been through this year and her growth and how much I want her to support her. So her leaving, she might not mean as much to another team as she means to us, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And she's like our solid, like, I mean, we need her, her screens, her rebounding, her scoring, like everything that she grew in last year is going to be amplified even that much more, having more pieces around her.
Yeah, she's an engine. Amari, I was going to ask you, we're talking about you as a shooter. You're not just a shooter, you're a scorer. But as a shooter, how important is it to have someone like Lauren inside rebounding, getting the ball out so you guys can get out and transition, getting offensive boards and putbacks? How important is it to have that as a piece of the team that you're playing on?
It's very important. Like, obviously, I don't want to have to go do that by myself. I mean, like, just having Lauren, when I think about it, I just get chills. Like, she is, like, one of the best, if not the best, like, bigs you can get out there. And so, like, I just saw how she helped last season, the season before that, and I think like she'll even have a bigger role coming into this next season. And so, I mean, it's a guard stream, that's for sure. So,
does it give you confidence when you have a dominant rebounder? And we'll talk a little bit about this last year's team and the outside shooting you've brought in for this, but it's, I would think that it's like, hey, I can shoot this, and if I miss, it's going to come back out. It's going to come back out to me or this player, as opposed to a one and done.
Well, I mean, I hope it doesn't always come back out to me. I hope she goes up and finishes herself because she's awesome at that too. But yeah, it gives me a lot of confidence. I mean, like it makes you feel like you have more freedom.
Yeah.
And I think the whole team we all respect her. I mean, she does the dirty work and we like it. So
yeah, and it's not just about the rebounding. You mentioned all those other things, Amber, with the way she sets screens and the way she defends, and like she does a lot of little things that make a huge difference in a game. And there were games this last year, a couple that we called where I'm just like, is she going to get every rebound in this game? Like I was like, she's not going to let anybody else get a rebound. We go a period of 4 or 5 minutes. I'm like, she's getting every rebound. That's it. She's going to go for 40 this game.
Well, and outside of her rebounding, like she has a nose for the ball, right? So that's what sets her up. But like if you ever watch her when the guards drive, when Nani drives, Nani's made some really nice passes to her. She relocates very good. And so some of my favorite, the shovel scoop or the pocket pass, and she just is there to get it because she's always in the right spot. So that's what's exciting too. And
she's Nani has kind of gotten lost a little bit in the off-season buzz of in comes this class. Is Gustin coming back? Is not? And then that was the big story. But having Nani back as a junior is priceless, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. She has so much experience. I mean, think about the shoes that she had to fill last year and the minutes she had to play, right? And so the growth that happened there. And so now, I mean, I talked to her, like having the class come in, like this is help for her. So she doesn't have to do, bring up the ball and go about the pick and roll and make sure
and score 20,
and,
all those things.
All those things. And so it will free her up a lot so she can do those things almost easier, but still have the same type of stats. And so that's what she's excited. Also plug, why don't you get Nani and Kingsley on here?
Yeah. Yes.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
We were talking about him earlier.
Yeah,
we're
going to make a note of that.
Let's get that. Because we have this thing going. By the way, who are you? No, we're not going to do that. I'm not going to do that to you, Amari. I was going to say, who are you dating right now, Amari? Because we always make a big deal.
Wilson.
There's only one love right now.
And it's the ball. It's Wilson. We're a Nike team, aren't we? Don't we play with Nike basketball? She's dating Nike right now. We always make a big deal because there's some really, really high-level athletes that have gotten married, and we always tease about, we're recruiting their kids right now, like Nani and Kingsley's. Yes. I still think Bronson and Hillary, though. Bronson Kafusi and Hillary Smith. 2-time All-American goaltender that's like 6'1".
Oh, wow.
And then Bronson, who's a National Football League defensive end at 6'9", and they're both crazy athletes. I'm like, yes, we want their kids right now. Yes, we want them.
Absolutely. So. You can't start early enough.
BYU
women's basketball coach Amber Whiting and her daughter Amari, who's preparing for her first season at BYU, is on Wise Guys tonight. We shout out to Houston, Texas, and a variety of other places. Thank you for being with us tonight. Here's what I'm most excited about, and then you can chime in with your opinion. But outside shooting was a challenge last season for you, and so you and your staff went out to get some shooters. Amari averaged at 25.4, Kaylee Woolston 19.7, Jenna Sy 25.8. In one high school game, she made 10 3-pointers, scored 43 points. I watched her video. It's like, oh my gosh. Played 10 games at Oregon, so she has 3 years of eligibility, and you have others as well. But how about the shooters? How do you feel about the shooters that you've gone and picked up?
Well, I think at the first of the season, our shooters were very timid, I would say, right? Like, I don't think that they understood. But then it became very apparent, like midway through the year, we started really harping on them to shoot the ball because they would sit girls in on Lauren 2 and 3, right. You know what I mean? And so even driving lanes weren't open because of that, and they were hesitant to pull the trigger right? So by the end of the season, I mean, I think Emma in that San Francisco game and Smiler hit some big ones and Ari hit some big ones, right? So I feel like they started to come into it. So I have shooters returning, right? And then you add in all those other ones, you can't sit on Lauren anymore. Like she can go one-on-one. And then the driving lanes become open if they want to pinch in. Then we got kicks. Like it makes the spacing of the court become really, really big. And it's like a player's dream.
And it's not, as someone like Emma with size that can go out and shoot is a big deal too, because now one of the bigs has to run out and chase her out there, and the spacing on the floor is. I felt like she developed as much as anyone last year. What about her development throughout the season?
Oh, she was incredible by the end of the season. And I felt like she got used to playing on the outside and perimeter and how to work off Lauren, and they became very good at the high-low game. And I don't know if you guys remember Nani's percentages her freshman year, right? They were insane. So when she has help and doesn't have to do all of like
because think of the players she was playing with her freshman year.
Yes, and so then if she did, I mean, she can get out and go too and knock down some shots. Like that's a lethal.
Is that what you're excited about?
Yeah.
I mean, I know Lauren's excited about not getting double teamed like ever again.
And Amari, isn't it nice to be, if you've got great teammates. So Nani last year, we did some of the games. We talked to the other coach, and they're like, well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're not going to help off of Nani. So we're not going to leave her. And then we're going to pack it in against Lauren. and dare other people to make shots. And then when Emma's making shots, then all of a sudden 90 gets better looks.
And then games where they weren't making shots were games that went the other way.
That were struggling. And so you as a scorer, how important is it to have other folks that can do this so that you don't have to be the focal point of everybody's defense?
I mean, basketball gets a lot easier when everyone has to defend. I feel like you can always find a weak link or, find like something that works. Like the transition from high school to AU, like AU is my favorite just because everyone can hoop. And so everyone's got to step up and defend. And if you don't, it shows. So.
Yeah, it definitely shows if you can't defend. Let's talk about defense a little bit because last year it seemed like when we talked almost a year ago, it was a little less than a year ago because you had just gotten the job and you came in and we loved that. Defense was a big theme for last year. Like we are going to defend, right? And then shooting developed as a season. What's the theme this year? Does it start with defense again? Or do we transition? Or do we transition into a team that goes out and outscores people?
No, we have to defend because honestly, it transitions into your offense, right? You can get out and run, you get a rebound, you get a steal, and then transition starts. And so obviously we're going to always start with defense. And we did a pretty good job at certain points this year and kept a lot of teams underneath their scoring averages. But I will always defend. Like you can't go away from that. That's my.
Have you seen film of your mom?
No.
I'm too old.
She could defend.
Well, I believe it. That's all she is preaching to us. So.
Yeah, no,
your dad, on the other hand, was out there just waiting for a 3-point shot.
Your dad was like doing this, like, "Hey, I'm open
every time."
Let's rewind to when Trent coached Amari and how much fun.
Oh my gosh, yeah. When my mom got the job, she had to obviously quit being our AAU coach, and so my dad stepped in, and all of us girls he called a timeout, and the only thing he talked about was offense, and then we all we broke and went out, and all of us kind of looking at each other like, okay, that was different. Like what?
So he played a different game. He ran from the top of the key to the top of the key.
Yeah,
it was an easy game for him, right?
Yep,
that was it because he was defending the other team's perimeter guy, and he was just running and spotting up and knocking down shots.
Some people think that the best way to win a game is to score more than the other team, and then some coaches think the best way to win a game is to keep the other team from scoring, at all, or at least reasonable.
Right.
And the law of averages are going to end up on your side, right? Mm-hmm. Is that that's your school?
I have some staff members that have offense first and foremost. And so,
for example, Lee Kamar. Yes.
Yeah, Lee loves offense too.
He wants to shoot 100 threes a game. So.
Wow.
No, he doesn't that much. But yes, they keep me balanced. So.
Your scouting report, and correct me if we have it wrong. You're a big time scorer and you have all the stats and all that, but you're more of a defensive player.
Yeah.
Defense is your thing.
Yeah. I feel like for me, just the game comes easier to me when I'm actually locking in on defense. I feel like my thing is I love getting steals, and especially when they cross over it and just pickpocket, that's my signature thing, I would say. And so I feel like as soon as I am able to do that, it puts my team in a better position, and I feel like I'm more relaxed offensively, and I'm just able to be okay, let the game come to me and just kind of I don't know, work my way that way.
Would you? Okay, here's a would you rather then. Would you rather have 30 points and 7 assists, or have 18 points, 6 steals, and 5 blocks?
18.6 steals, 5 blocks.
I know what she would say.
I don't know where the blocks is coming from, to be honest.
Those blocks would be fantastic.
I don't know where the blocks is coming from. Maybe rebounds.
Okay, rebounds. We'll talk rebounds. So you'd rather have you take pride. Would you rather have? Okay, here's another. Would you rather? Games on the line. You guys are playing Texas and Shaley and the gang is in the Marriott Center. Games on the line. Would you rather have the ball in your hands? Down by 1, and you make the game-winning shot. Doesn't matter what the shot is. Or would you rather be up by 1, Shaylee drives, and you pick her pocket on the way to and the game ends with you with a play on defense?
That's a good question.
Which would you rather do?
I'm all about winning a game, winning the game for my team, but the second one sounds pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Either scenario is a pretty good one.
Those are good. Those are both good ones, right?
Yeah.
Before we get to 5 questions for Amari, because we've done them with you, but we did bring back your answers, so we can talk about that.
Oh yeah.
How hard is it going to be to pick a starting 5 with this group that you've put together?
Yeah, pretty hard. I don't even like going there right now because I want to see what they did in the off season. I want to see them come back and what they've added to their games. We had player meetings with all the returners, right? And these little freshmen coming in, I wouldn't say little, but the freshmen coming in, they got to earn their stripes. And so I just want to get them out there and get going and get playing and see what happens. Like I'm excited to coach this group. I think when you talk about pressure, the pressure is more on me of how I can find the rhythm of them and make sure that they can play together. That's where I think the pressure is. What's
the timetable of having the team here for workouts and then off to Italy?
They get back June 7th, but we have camps that whole next week.
Okay.
And then we can start practice June 26th, but it's just like the 4-hour practice. And then we back 10 practices we leave August 14th.
That's exciting.
I have another one other for Amari, and I don't know. Do you guys on time schedule? Or can I ask one? Okay. So we had Jimmer here, and we had Tyler Hawes here, all-time leading scorer on the men's side, and Tyler told us that from the time he was in 7th grade, he never left the gym without making 100 free throws ever from 7th grade.
Wow.
And then we had Jimmer in, and Jimmer said, "Yeah, I would never leave the gym until I make 100." That's the same thing. And he goes, "But I would see how many I could make in a row." And we go like, "Well, how many would it take you to make 100?" And he goes, "Oh, not more than like 103 or 4." And we'd be like, "Okay." And then he goes, "One time I made 152 in a row. Then I missed one. And then I had to make one because I couldn't leave on a miss. So I made 152 in a row, and then I missed, and then I made 150. So I was 153 of 154.
Wow.
So that's some serious work, right?
Yeah.
And they're both 90+% career free throw shooters.
And when the game was on the line and they were at the free throw line, it's like great.
Like we weren't even afraid to jinx them. We would just say, "Well, they just fouled Jim, or they just fouled Tyler. Like he'll make these. Like he's just gonna make them because he's just done this so many times." What's your ritual before leaving the gym? What do you do?
Well, I always finish with 10 free throws. I shoot 100, but I like break it up throughout my workout. But yeah, I finish with 10 free throws, and then I always do like a fun little shot, but I have to make it. It's got to be 3 too. Like it's got to be
so
like
you have to 10 free throws, and you have to make all 10, right?
Yeah.
And then you're going to finish with some fun shot, and it's got to be made because you can't leave on a miss, right?
No, never on a miss.
Okay, I like it.
Free throws are terribly underrated.
Yes.
And they decide so many games. And when you look back over the body of the season, you see how many the team attempted, how many they made, and how many points left right there at the line. It's a wonder that every player doesn't shoot 100 in the gym every morning who really want to excel and be good. How do you grind that into their look? I can't have you at 61%. I've got to have you at 87.
Well, I feel like too, I mean, we shoot free throws in practice, but I like them, like Amari said, within her workout, right? So do a
when
drill.
When you're winded, legs are a little tired.
Yes, do a drill so you're tired and you go to the line. And it's not just sitting there repetitive, go do another drill, you go back to the line. So then you're getting at your 100 free throws throughout the time. But yeah, I try to mix it up in practice where we run first and then shoot.
Yeah.
So then it makes it more realistic for them.
Yeah.
But they got to do a lot of outside of practice on their own because when we have that many girls and that much time or whatever.
There's not enough hoops to go around.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So.
Yeah.
What number are you going to wear?
1.
Is that what you wore in high school?
Yeah.
Did you get promised that when you signed? By the coach?
I mean, I hope I get one.
Hey, listen, your dad clearly has not enough going on at the house tonight. He said,
"What's he saying now?"
Said the 01 Cougs won it all through offense with smiling faces.
Yeah,
You've heard that story before.
He always
So
brags
much.
that he's the last one that won. What was it? The conference title and
Yeah.
the West title.
You know what? He's
He
right.
can't-
He is right.
He's right.
I'll give it to him though. When he wants to defend, he'll defend, but he loves.
Well, and guess what? At the end of the game,
You can't stack up against Big 12 title though. That's coming.
he
That's
won't be
right.
able, once you guys
That's
go win a
right.
Big 12 title, he'll have nothing to
nothing
hold
to
up
say.
to.
Nothing to say.
Nothing if
Then
you
it'll
want
be
to quite
me and
him.
Amber against him.
That's right.
All day long.
I will say that when the game was on the line, even that 01 team, when the game was on the line, they could get a stop.
They could.
Like you
yeah.
go get a stop. They were free, very free
were a fun team to
offensively, and they were a
watch.
fun team to watch. And your dad could just flat out shoot it, right? But if they had to get a couple of stops down the stretch, they could muster it up. They had enough athleticism; they would get stops.
But
down
it
the
helped
stretch.
when you had they had a lot of pieces, right? Like
Right.
that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
you
McKelly
look at.
Wesley and-
Terrell Day, Travis
Yeah.
Hansen,
And
those
they
pieces
had
did
some-
stop
They were
coming
good.
through.
They had some dogs too. Like when I say dogs, like some
Montague.
competitive dudes on that team.
We have a highlight tape at our house that we watch every so often.
Every week, Monday night.
When we can find a VCR.
And yeah, like you said, they had some big dudes.
And they had all the like blonde hips.
Yeah,
You know,
the frosted
That's
tips.
cool.
They all thought they were swaggy or something.
And that's McKelly, right?
Yeah.
Would you mess with that dude back in those days?
No, yeah, and you couldn't stop him on the low post.
I love McKelly, and he's the nicest guy in the world. I still wouldn't mess with him.
No. He stopped in about a month ago, and I was like, nope.
He was an enforcer out there. That was a physical team that was really skilled, which is a nice combo, right? So, no, your dad has every reason to brag. But who would win a free throw shooting contest between you and your dad?
I mean, I feel like we already have established this because in Hawaii,
my gosh.
we
So
all
wait a second.
lined up,
Won.
played 21.
I thought this was just shooting. I didn't think it was free throw.
No,
Let's
it was
throw-
free throw competition.
It
We
was all
It
competitions.
was 21.
They
What?
didn't
21
stop.
on the line or
Yeah.
7
Oh,
on
you
the
guys
line?
are playing. Oh,
Yeah, and so it was just down. It was down to me and my dad. Amber got out first.
Oh, wow.
Then Jace, then
You
it
got
was
a
me
lot
and my
going
dad,
on.
and then Trent choked, and I took the dub.
Wow.
So you won in a straight 1 to 20 free throw shooting contest. Who wins out of the four of you? Not in
What do
in the
you
game
think?
of 21.
What do you think? I want to hear.
Jace.
Oh,
Wow.
Jace.
Okay.
Now Jace is
here's-
going to be
That's
a
crazy.
sophomore at Boise State, right?
Yeah.
Sophomore
Yeah.
at Boise
Yep.
State.
So
On the
here-
team up there.
Yeah. So here's a different question,
Is he better than you?
and I want you to answer this, and you can choose yourself too.
Okay.
Okay. The game is on the
Oh my
line.
Oh my gosh!
It's Oklahoma BYU in the Big 12 championship game.
Men's or women's?
It's both because this is a universal
just all
question.
play.
It's a universal.
It's Oklahoma
Go
and
ahead.
BYU in the championship game, men's or women's, and it's tied, and your team has actually you're down by one, and your team has the ball, and you get fouled, and now you need somebody to step up and make 2 free throws, one to tie it, and the second one to win it. Who in the family are you putting on the line in that
Don't put
situation?
me-
Be honest.
Come on.
Be
Come
so
on,
honest
Amber.
right now.
Trent.
You gonna put
Okay,
Trent on the
I
line?
would say that too. Besides myself, like I believe in myself, but like
You go
You
with
put
dad.
Trent on the line.
Put your
My
dad on the
dad's-
line.
He's been through
He's
too
lethal.
many like tight
He's been in
hard
big
situations.
games.
Italy games.
Well,
like
back it
Yeah.
up. Back it up a few feet. And who wins the 3-point shooting contest? 1 to 20.
Trent will get off the bench after making fun of the kids and walk out and just knock down shots. Like he just doesn't.
So
I
he's
don't
still,
know why.
he's still,
He's still got it, and it's annoying. But it's whatever.
it's good that he still has it. Who takes second? Do you take second, or does Jace? Who's the second best 3-point shooter?
Oh, Trent's not the best 3-point shooter. Let's be clear. He's
No.
a good free throw shooter.
Oh, okay.
3-point shooter, I would say it's between me and my brother.
Yeah.
Jace is a really, really good shooter.
What
Yeah.
what happened to your skills in this? whole
I'm
thing?
like the full-time rebounder.
She's like the ref
practice
too.
anymore,
She's
and
got
I'm
to
the
break up
ref,
the fights.
and I cook the food, and I clean the
Hey,
house.
listen, let me
and
just
I
say,
coach.
if
You
we
have
have
time
to
for free
choose,
throws.
if we have to choose in their prime, right? Because when I do this with the boys about football, like, well, they played a different position, so they cannot compare throwing the ball to me. But when we compare, it's like, let's talk about primes, right? I'll put your mom defensively against anybody.
I've never watched my mom play, to be honest. I don't even think we.
I'll
do
put
we
her
even
defending
have-
anybody because she has the will to defend.
Oh, I agree. I would have. She would clamp
could you
Jace.
lock her down?
Maybe not me, but she would clamp Jace.
Yep.
Could you lock her down?
Yes, all day, every day. In my prime.
In her
yes.
prime. No, in her prime,
In her
I'm telling you.
It's a
In
different.
her prime.
It's a different game.
She
in-
gets the
in
best
prime.
perimeter offensive player and shut her down.
Just
I don't know,
shut
man.
it right there.
I don't know.
All right, we got 5 questions
You guys
for
like
you.
starting fights, huh?
We're just enjoying this.
Fueling
This
the
is
On our way
awesome.
home, we'll be arguing about
So
it.
great to have you both here. All right, we have 5 questions for you.
Well, your mom already answered
and
these, so we'll compare
revisit,
them, but we're
we'll
not going to
revisit your mom's answers as we go through this.
after you do yours.
Rapid fire. You don't need to think about it too much.
Okay.
You ready?
Here we go. Favorite sports movie?
Glory Road.
Glory Road. Your mother picked Hoosiers. Remember that?
Oh, that's fire. Good job, Amber.
Thanks.
Okay. Your favorite singer or band? And by the way, your mom was money on this.
She probably picked an old time one. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I love a good Justin Bieber song, Rihanna, Beyonce.
So,
Those
what's
are
your
all
favorite
fine.
JB song?
I would say anyone. Anyone's pretty good.
Nice.
I didn't think she'd go with Biebs.
Yeah.
So is that who? We're going with the Biebs.
I like
He's just a good singer.
You know what? I
okay.
love You Can Go and Love Yourself because it's just a jazz guitar one instrument and him, and I'm like, they just killed that song with just one instrument. So
Your mother went with a Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah.
she went with
Were you surprised? Does that surprise you?
Not really, because she made my dad's highlight mixtape, and she had like Snoop Dogg, Notorious B.I.G., like all these fire songs. So I respect it.
She picks a band. Right. She picks a performer that in warm-ups might be playing at a game on the road, which I think is awesome.
That's how she rolls.
So I had so much respect for Notorious B.I.G.
This next answer brought on a whole different conversation, but let's go with.
She earned a tremendous amount of respect and then lost it all in one answer. So here we go. Your favorite breakfast cereal?
I like Cashy Go Crunch, the peanut butter kind.
Cashy Go?
Yeah.
What is that? Is that like Captain Crunch?
What are we even talking about?
It's like a protein, like
Why can't you guys have normal cereals?
What did you pick? Like flax?
No,
like
she said
cut oatmeal.
steel cut oatmeal with honey.
What's going on?
That's not a breakfast cereal.
Well, she
Thank you.
breakfast
Thank
cereal.
you.
Was.
I was looking for Captain Crunch or Lucky Charms, and she came with cut oatmeal.
Came with that, and then we had a discussion as to what that even was.
We growing up, we didn't have very many good cereals. I mean, the best we had was probably Cheerios, and so
Italy doesn't have sugar cereal.
So
is this an Italian cereal then? What did you say?
No,
yeah, what is that?
What is it?
It's literally just like
It's like an organic, like a protein.
What
granola.
aisle would I find that at the
you can find it at
store?
Walmart.
Yeah.
Man, I just stepped my game up. I just stepped my game up because you know what I had before I came
bring
here?
these guys some cereal. They're gonna actually
For
try.
dinner, I had Frosted Flakes before I came here today.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's
Yeah.
why
Yep.
That's why
Look, you
you're so
gotta
good with the
feel the
questions.
You gotta feel the body.
Hey, I have to tell you, Kyle Van Noy and Marissa. First of all, they're nutty, but because they're like super like I think they're rubbing their kids' hamstrings.
And we're recruiting their kids
calf's
too,
milk
by
to
the
make
way.
sure, But no, they're amazing people. But Kyle's like, oh, we would never feed our kids cereal. What did he say they
They
gave?
give them protein shakes
They
with
have
spinach.
protein shakes for breakfast with spinach in them.
Welcome to the new day. Here's a spinach protein shake. It's like,
I said,
I'd go right back
Kyle,
to bed.
one of them's one. It's like, doesn't matter.
So we'll deal with them later. So
whatever that was,
I'll be honest, I didn't expect that.
Oh, look, look, see, that's
that's
the best kind. Everyone go
Cashy
try it, please, and tell me. Let me put everyone on real quick. This is the best cereal ever.
Do you
Wait a
put
minute.
sugar on it
Do
or
you put
what?
milk on it?
No, you just put some almond milk or milk in there.
Almond milk and that 10 grams of protein, I actually could eat that.
See?
No, it's really
and it
good.
tastes so
I honestly
good.
don't eat cereal.
It looks
for
like a
breakfast anymore.
granola bar all
It's like
day.
a little
It's
Reese's
also
peanut
good
butter
if
cup.
you put chocolate almond milk in it, so then it's like a little peanut butter and
Peanut
chocolate.
They
butter
make
chocolate.
that chocolate almond milk.
Chocolate
Yes.
almond milk. That's all we
Okay.
have in our
All right.
house.
DJ,
Almond
way
milk.
to come up with that. I'm gonna
You're a
have to
fascinating
Yeah,
family.
that was awesome.
Amari, I'm gonna try it, and I'm gonna report.
should,
I'm
yeah.
gonna report back. So Linda Murray says it's in the cereal aisle. It's just another kind of cereal, like granola.
It's
Yeah.
probably
She
I
knows
go
what
where
she's
all the
talking
colors are. The bright
Linda's
colors
like
draw
David
me in.
Blaine. Chill a little bit, okay? Okay.
All right, number 4.
Your favorite basketball moment, and it can be that you were involved in, or it can be just a basketball moment that's your favorite moment.
My favorite basketball moment was probably last year at state. We had gone to state every year that I went, but the first game, my first year we took like 4th, second year we took 3rd, and then this year there's like kind of like, oh, is Burley gonna win? Yada yada yada, and we won the first game, and the second game was the semis, and that was a pretty big game. We were playing Preston, and they were a really really good team, and so it had been tight the whole game. And I know myself, I was like, I just need to make the championship game and then I'll get it done. Like, I wanted a ring so bad. And so before the game, my dad just gave me a hug. He's like, I'm always there with you every step of the way. So when we won, I got pulled out a little bit early, and my coach put in the freshmen. And I remember I ran back behind the bench and I gave my dad a hug, and we both got emotional, and he's like, you did it. Like, you made it a championship game. He's like, now get it done. Let's go. And like that, just like, obviously my mom's a coach, and I feel like I share so many, just memorable moments with her, but having my dad there every step of the way just was, it's like different, and it was just really special. So
That's awesome.
I love
That's
that.
a great moment.
Good.
Great moment.
Speaking of the head
That's
coach.
right. I forgot they were in Burley. Did you guys live down in that giant place down there
No.
by the river?
No.
What's that place called?
There's too many mosquitoes by the river.
Yeah.
Blue
mosquitoes.
something. What's it called down there?
Blue Lakes.
Blue Lakes. Yeah,
Yeah.
down in
I
Blue
have no
Lakes.
idea.
We just went up to Twin Falls for a basketball tournament with my grandson.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. So we drove right by Burley. I thought of you guys. So.
All right, number 5.
Yeah, and this one you mentioned lots of great moments with your mom, but what's
with your dad?
Oh, with your dad. No, she said she had great moments with her dad or with her mom, but this was a special moment because with her dad. But what's your favorite thing about your head coach at BYU?
My favorite thing, like, okay, so in high school, like, we had girls that were like wanting to work hard, and but obviously, like, it's a small town. I mean, we still had school late because kids had to get up and, you know, do their chores on the farm. Like, it was like a really small town, and I feel like my coach just was able to get the most out of all of us. And like by the end of the year, like, honestly, we should not have won a state championship. Like, if you look at everyone we had, like, if you just like lined us up against the other team, like, you'd be like, they're losing. Like, but like, coach got everything out of us. She just put into the time and effort and bought into us. And so we'd do skills every practice. We would, you know, work hard. And I feel like she just is able to like pull us together and just gets the best out of all of us. And one thing I loved is we had so much team chemistry. And I feel like that's exactly why we won, is because all of us were willing to just get on each other's backs and just go forward together, hand in hand. And so that's what I love about my head coach.
Is that the formula then?
She doesn't call me mom,
Is that
by the way.
as you guys go into the Big
That's right.
12? Is that the formula?
Yeah, I feel like that's what we need. We need team chemistry, and I mean, we need to be all bought in. Like, you can't win if it's just one person shining every night. Like, my mom always says, it may be you, it may be her, but it's always us. So
Is she pretty good about flipping the switch, or is she just the coach like 24 hours a day?
no, she's pretty good at it. I mean, at first it's kind of hard just because, like, you like kind of, you know, obviously you're gonna bring it home. Like, if you have a crap practice, she's gonna go into your room and be like, hey, what the heck, you know what I mean? But I mean, we go get our nails done together every 2 weeks. Like, we do stuff like that, just like have, you know, mother bonding.
Yeah.
But
Do you do pedicures? Because I think they're way underrated. I didn't know until.
Yeah, we go.
Yeah, as you should.
But I did learn that you really need to shave your legs when you go to get it. Because the first time I went with my girls, and the first time I went,
he brought it out.
Seriously.
the first time I went,
That's crazy.
no,
It's after
you guys,
7. We're after 9 on the East
yeah,
Coast.
it's after 9 o'clock, so it's okay now. But the first time I went with my girls and my wife, you know how they massage your leg?
Yeah.
She starts massaging, but there's so much hair on my leg, like it won't even massage, and it's just like this mess. And then she looked all frustrated, and she said, "Your leg's so hairy, I can't even do the massage." And so I'm like, okay, I will shave it the next time. So the next time we went, I shaved my legs, and we went in, and the massage went great. Then I went home and got in bed. I was like, whoa. That is the greatest feeling ever. Shaving legs in between the sheets. You guys have witnessed it. Like, it's like, it was like a revelation to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I will shave my legs for the rest of my life.
Well, did you shave with like a razor or like an electric?
No,
like,
razor.
Oh, okay.
Just shave it
so
with a
you're
razor.
down to the skin.
Yes.
I'm proud of
I
you.
respect it. That's awesome.
You have to.
So you have to,
Are
you
you
have
next?
to do it.
Well, no.
Yeah, it looks like you need a pedicure.
He
with
won't
him.
go for a pedicure with me because he's got
I've
that.
had one in my life that was awesome.
No, he's got
It's
those.
just like,
He's got those snaggle
you
nails.
know,
Like he can't.
It's like I'm going in for a massage if I'm going to go into
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
If you have the snaggle nails, you shouldn't even take your socks off. You
your mom's favorite Italian dish, do you know what it is?
Raviata.
I do like that.
See, that's not what
Is
she
that-
told us.
It's not what she told
was?
us. No. Risotto.
Oh, risotto.
Yeah.
Risotto's good. She makes
Okay.
a mean risotto.
Yeah, that's what she said. She made a. We're gonna have. As this will be a bonus question. We'll get you out of here. Thank you. But we asked your mom for her favorite advice from her dad, and it was, don't let the highs get too high and the lows get too low.
Yeah.
What's your favorite quote from your folks?
My mom says that a lot, so I would say that one is probably one of my favorites. And my dad always says, "Don't drink the Kool-Aid." I feel like you asked me at first, like the 4 stars and stuff like that. Like, it just doesn't matter. It's just all about like who you are as a
When's the
person.
last time you've had a glass of Kool-Aid? It is outstanding, especially if it's grape.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had
Yeah,
Really?
I don't
Never
think
had
I've ever had
Kool-Aid?
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid is like if there's kids on the side of the road and have a Kool-Aid stand,
Just
you should
stop.
stop and
You
give them
stop
50
buying.
cents and get one.
Don't-
Usually, like our neighborhood, we just barely bought some Otter Pops from some of the
Yeah,
kids.
there you go. Otter
That's
Pops.
usually
Otter Pops
what's
are
being
good
That's
too.
another very underrated treat.
That'll get you through the
Otter
summer.
Pops.
Amber and Amari Whiting, thanks for coming.
Yes.
It's good to have you here.
Anytime.
And
It's
we
fun.
look forward to have you welcome here anytime. Welcome to Provo.
Thank you.
We missed you last summer, but we're not missing you anymore. So we're excited for your Italian
everybody,
trip.
we're really excited for you guys to go. We're excited for next season, but everybody's excited for you. Everybody's excited for this basketball program. And everybody keeps coming up to Dave and I and saying, "Man, the women's sports are way better equipped to compete in the Big 12."
Yeah, that's
so
true.
we're expecting you to shine.
Well, thank you.
When you take the team to Italy, will you be doing all the cooking
Oh no.
just to show them you know how to do it?
Pizza
Buddy,
and
you're
gelato
like a-
every day is my vote.
Pizza
and gelato
every day?
every day.
Are you going to at least do one? Because
we're
you're,
gonna go
you're
at
a good
cooking,
cook.
We're gonna go to a cooking class, but I think we're gonna go as a staff, and the girls are gonna go do something else,
Yeah.
like at a dinner. But
Giolitti's in Rome is very good, by the way. It's not far from the Trevi Fountain around the corner.
Giolitti,
Oh, really?
Giolitti's.
That's ice cream.
Yeah.
Yes, when you're looking at the Trevi Fountain, it's like right to
It's
the,
like-
yes, I
So
know.
good, right?
We got cinnamon
good.
there. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to tell you, like when we were in Italy, well, every time we've been there, when we're with our kids, we'll get gelato every night, right? And then all of a sudden, the kids will be like, "Where's Dad? Where'd Dad go?" And then I'll be coming back out of the front and be like, round two. I got 2 gelatos every night when I was in Italy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's so good. It's
I would
That
cut
is-
back on dinner a little bit just so I could have 2 gelatos.
Okay,
every
yeah,
night.
gelato's really good. I feel like everything over there, like it's just like more fresh and
So
just
good.
it's
It'll
just
be
way
like
better.
flashback for you, right?
yeah. Because
That'll
we
be
live
fun.
there. That's
Linda
why I'm
Murray says
excited.
gelato more than once a day. That's what we did too. See, that's what I'm talking about right
This
there.
girl knows her stuff.
Yes,
knows
she
her
does.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys, thanks
are
so much
free
for
to go.
coming on.
It's nice to meet you.
Thank
We
you.
love having you on. Great to
Thank
see
you.
you
Look
guys.
forward to the schedule. We look forward to calling the games. We're going to have a good time.
Perfect. Thank
All
you.
right.
Give
Thank you.
Trent a big hug for us, and because I feel like his ego's been a little shot tonight.
You know what? We're gonna have him on the show.
Yeah,
one of
we'll
these
bring
nights.
Trent
and then he can,
He can correct anything that was said wrong.
and then you guys can sit at home and send in pot shots like he does.
Yes.
And dispute everything he says.
So
All right, thank you.
Thanks
Drive
for
safe.
coming on, you guys. Hey,
the
Amari,
Whitings.
keep grinding. That knee's going to be great.